Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe. Can you feel it? That still, quiet presence inside of you? That is the power that creates worlds. That is the force that has already answered your prayer. Many give up just before the miracle arrives. They look at the world around them, and when they see no change, they say, nothing is happening. But that is the greatest deception of all. The seed does not sprout the moment you plant it. The caterpillar does not transform into a butterfly overnight. And your miracle, though unseen, is already unfolding beneath the surface. The moment you desired it, it was yours. The moment you declared it, it was set in motion. But between the asking and the receiving, there is a test. A test of faith, a test of trust, a test of persistence. You do not beg the sun to rise. You simply trust that it will. So why doubt your own creation? The physical world is a mere shadow of your inner state. Everything you see now is the past made visible. But your future, it is shaped by your belief in this very moment. If you hold fast, if you refuse to let appearances shake your knowing, then nothing can stop what is already destined to be yours. Imagine it now, feel it deeply, the relief, the joy, the gratitude of already having what you seek. That feeling is not a dream. That feeling is reality in its truest form. Your body may not see it yet, but your spirit knows it is done. So do not let doubt steal what is rightfully yours. Do not let impatience push you into despair. The universe is always on time, and your miracle is coming faster than you think. What you consistently hold in your mind with unwavering faith becomes your reality. Your thoughts are not mere fleeting ideas. They are the seeds of creation, shaping the world around you. Every great achievement, every miraculous event, every shift in reality begins in the unseen realm of the mind. The life you experience today is nothing more than a reflection of past assumptions and beliefs, consciously or unconsciously entertained. Many people believe that reality is something fixed, something outside of them, something they must fight against or struggle to change. But this is the greatest illusion. Reality does not impose itself upon you. It conforms to the images and feelings you repeatedly dwell upon. If you persist in seeing yourself as someone who lacks, who is waiting, who is struggling, then your world must mirror that state. But if you can dare to see yourself as already possessing what you seek, if you can hold on to the feeling of fulfillment, then reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that inner conviction. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or empty daydreaming. This is the principle by which all things come into being. Every invention, every breakthrough, every success story first lived in the imagination of someone who refused to let doubt interfere. Before the airplane existed, it lived in the mind of the Wright brothers. Before great cities were built, they were nothing but ideas in the minds of visionaries. Even the simple act of writing a letter begins first as a thought before it takes shape on paper. The unseen must always come before the seen. Your miracle is no different. It is already forming. The moment you conceived the desire, the moment you saw it in your mind and felt its reality, the process began. The only thing that can delay its arrival is doubt, impatience, or a return to the old way of seeing things. When you waver between believing and doubting, between seeing yourself as having it and fearing that it will never come, you send conflicting signals to the universe. But when you persist, when you remain steadfast in the assumption that it is already yours, then nothing in this world can stop it from appearing. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to struggle or chase after it. The universe is not moved by desperation. It is moved by faith. Simply hold to the inner vision. Live from the end as if what you desire is already part of your life. Let that feeling of fulfillment become natural to you. Make it the dominant state of your being, and soon, what was once only in your imagination will stand before you as your tangible reality. So do not waver, do not let temporary appearances deceive you. What you seek is already on its way, unfolding in ways beyond your comprehension. Trust the process. Stay in the state of fulfillment. Your imagination is the blueprint of your future, and the more you persist in the reality of your desire, the sooner it must become visible in your world. The concept of time is one of the greatest illusions that keeps people trapped in a cycle of waiting, hoping, and doubting. It creates the false belief that what you desire exists somewhere in the future, always just out of reach, always dependent on external circumstances aligning in a certain way. But in truth, the future does not exist apart from your present state of being. What you call the future is simply a projection of what you assume to be true now. If you believe your miracle is far away, it will remain far away. If you persist in the feeling that it is already done, it must be made manifest in your world. Everything you seek already exists in the unseen. The delay you perceive is not a delay in reality. It is simply the time it takes for your consciousness to align fully with your desire. The moment you accept it as true in your inner world, the outer world has no choice but to conform. This is not a process bound by time, but by your level of conviction. If you remain in a state of doubt, questioning when and how it will happen, you stretch the illusion of time, keeping your desire at arm's length. But if you let go of the need to see physical proof and instead trust that it is already yours, time collapses and the manifestation appears effortlessly. Think of a seed planted in the soil. The moment it is planted, the process of growth has begun. You do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that the unseen forces of nature are at work. Your desires operate the same way. The moment you plant the seed of assumption, the inner knowing that what you desire is already done, the universe begins to arrange everything necessary to bring it into form. You do not need to force or rush it. Your only task is to persist in the conviction that it is already accomplished. Many people make the mistake of measuring their progress by what they see with their physical eyes. If they do not see immediate evidence, they assume nothing is happening. But this is where faith must take over. The physical world is always the last to reflect what has already been set in motion in the unseen. Do not be deceived by appearances. Just as a tree is fully formed in the seed before it grows into view, your miracle is already complete in the invisible realm. Doubt, impatience, and frustration are what keep you bound to the illusion of time. But the moment you release the need to wait and instead move into the certainty that it is already yours, you align yourself with its reality. It is not coming, it is already here. It is not in the future, it is now. The only thing left for you to do is to remain in the state of knowing, to feel as though you already have it, and to trust that it must appear. Because when you no longer look for it, when you no longer question its arrival, that is when it finally shows up, exactly as you imagine. Faith is the invisible force that turns the unseen into the seen. It is the bridge between your desire and its physical manifestation. Without faith, the mind wavers, shifting between hope and doubt, delaying what is already meant to be yours. But when faith is unwavering, it collapses the illusion of separation between what you seek and what you experience. Faith is not merely believing in something distant. It is the certainty that what you desire is already a reality, even when your physical senses show no proof. Most people rely too heavily on what they see. They look at their circumstances and allow them to dictate what they believe is possible. But reality does not work this way. What you see now is simply a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. If you allow the present moment to discourage you, you continue to recreate the same cycle. Faith requires that you look beyond appearances, that you trust in the unseen, that you persist in knowing the truth of your desire even when the world suggests otherwise. Consider the way a builder constructs a house. He does not question whether the house will stand simply because in the early stages there is only an empty lot. He follows the blueprint with confidence, knowing that step by step the structure will take form. Your desires follow the same principle. The moment you assume something to be true within yourself, the foundation is laid. Every time you affirm it, every time you feel its reality, you add to the construction of its manifestation. The world may still show you an empty lot, but faith sees the finished result. Faith walks through the completed home before a single wall is built. Doubt is the only thing that can weaken this bridge. If you entertain doubt, you pull yourself back into the illusion of separation, delaying what was already yours. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate evidence. They abandon their vision just before it would have materialized. But faith demands persistence. It demands that you trust the process, even when there is no physical confirmation. If you hold fast, the outer world must eventually conform, for the unseen always precedes the seen. Faith is not passive, it is an active state of knowing. It is the ability to move through life with the confidence that your desires are already in motion. It is the refusal to be shaken by external circumstances. It is standing firm in your assumption, unwavering in the belief that what you have claimed is already yours. The greatest manifestations come to those who trust, who do not waver, who hold to their vision even in the absence of proof. The process is always working even when you cannot see it. Faith is the key that unlocks the door, and when you persist in that knowing, the unseen must become seen. Just as surely as the sun must rise, just as surely as the seasons must change. What you seek is already seeking you. Faith is simply the bridge that brings it into view. What you see in the world around you is nothing more than a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. It is not fixed. It is not absolute. It is simply an echo, a delayed response to the state of consciousness you have previously occupied. If you allow yourself to be deceived by what appears in front of you, you will continue to recreate the same experiences, trapped in an endless loop of reacting rather than creating. But if you understand that the outer world is always playing catch-up to your inner state, then you will no longer be swayed by what seems to be. Instead, you will hold firm to what you know must come. The mistake most people make is believing that the physical world holds power over them. They see lack, so they feel lack. They experience delay, so they assume their desire is far away. But this is the great illusion. The moment you react to what you see, you reinforce it, giving it more life, allowing it to persist. But the moment you detach, the moment you refuse to accept anything less than the fulfillment of your desire, you set into motion a shift that must eventually be reflected in your external world. This is why you must ignore the 3D world when it contradicts your vision. If what you desire is not yet visible, it is only because reality is still adjusting. The physical world is slow to catch up, but it must follow the direction of your inner conviction. Just as a shadow cannot move on its own, but only follows the movement of the object casting it, so too does your external reality follow the movement of your mind. If you remain steadfast in your assumption, the outer world has no choice but to reshape itself in accordance with your new state. Consider a radio. If you want to listen to a specific station, you must tune into the correct frequency. If you keep tuning into the wrong station, you cannot blame the radio. It is simply reflecting the frequency you have chosen. Your life works the same way. If you continue to observe and react to what you do not want, you are tuning into that reality and keeping yourself locked in it. But if you shift your focus, if you persist in seeing only what you desire, you will change the frequency of your life, and soon the world must reflect that new state back to you. Remain firm in your assumption. Walk through life as if your desire is already fulfilled. Speak, think, and feel from the end. Do not seek confirmation from the physical world. It will always be a step behind. Your job is not to question or to look for evidence. Your job is to persist, to live in the certainty that what you desire is already yours. And when you do this, when you truly commit to the unseen reality within, the world around you will have no choice but to align. The illusion of delay will vanish, and what was once only a vision will stand before you, real and undeniable. The way you feel is the key to everything. Your emotions are not merely reactions to your circumstances, they are the very cause of them. Every experience in your life is a reflection of your inner state, shaped by the feelings you consistently hold. If you feel lack, you will see lack. If you feel abundance, you will experience abundance. The universe does not respond to your words or your actions alone. It responds to the dominant emotions that live within you. This is why feeling is the secret to manifestation. It is not enough to simply think about what you desire. You must feel as if it is already yours. Many people believe they must wait for external changes before they can feel happy, fulfilled, or secure. They believe that once they receive their desire, then they will feel joy. But this is working in reverse. The truth is that you must feel the joy, peace, and certainty first, and then reality will shift to match that inner state. You must enter the mood of your fulfilled desire before it appears in the world around you. This is the great secret that separates those who manifest effortlessly from those who struggle and wait. Consider an actor preparing for a role. If he wishes to be convincing, he must fully embody the character. He must think, speak, and feel as the character would. He does not simply repeat lines without emotion, he immerses himself in the state of being. In the same way, you must embody the state of your fulfilled desire. If you wish to experience love, feel love now. If you wish to experience wealth, feel the security and freedom of wealth now. If you wish to experience success, feel the confidence and accomplishment of success now. The more deeply you immerse yourself in this feeling, the faster the world around you will conform. The reason feeling is so powerful is that it bypasses the conscious mind and directly influences the subconscious, where all creation begins. Your subconscious does not question, argue, or analyze. It simply accepts and expresses what you deeply feel to be true. This is why fleeting thoughts have little impact, but sustained emotions shape your destiny. If you consistently feel unworthy, the world will reflect situations that confirm your unworthiness. But if you persist in the feeling of being loved, successful, and abundant, reality has no choice but to make it so. The greatest mistake people make is allowing their emotions to be dictated by what they see. They react to circumstances instead of creating them. But the moment you take control, the moment you decide to feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, you set a new course for your life. Your feelings become the seed, and the universe must bring forth the harvest. So, hold to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let joy, gratitude, and certainty fill your heart. Live in the assumption that it is done, and soon, what was once only a feeling will take shape before your very eyes. The moment you decide on a desire, the universe sets everything in motion to bring it to you. But before it fully manifests, you may experience resistance. This is the final test. It is not a sign that your manifestation is failing. It is a sign that it is near. The greatest mistake people make is giving up just before their breakthrough arrives. They see obstacles, delays, or even the complete opposite of what they desire, and they assume it means their manifestation is not working. But in truth, this resistance is an illusion, a last remnant of the old reality trying to hold on. When you persist in a new assumption, your subconscious mind begins reshaping your world to match it. However, everything that contradicts this new state must first be cleared away. Sometimes this appears as chaos, as though things are falling apart, but they are not falling apart. They are rearranging. Imagine shaking a snow globe. At first, the snow swirls chaotically, but soon it settles into a new order. Your persistence is what allows the new order to form. If you stop shaking the globe, the snow settles back into the same place it was before. The same is true with your mind. If you waver, you return to the old reality. This is why persistence is the test. The moment of greatest resistance is often right before the shift occurs. The closer you are to your miracle, the louder the old reality will try to hold on. It will tempt you with doubt, with fear, with evidence that seems contrary to your desire. But this is where most people fail. They see this resistance and assume they have lost. So they abandon their vision, allowing the old state to remain intact. But if they had held on just a little longer, the breakthrough would have come. Think of a seed buried in the soil. Before it sprouts, the ground looks unchanged. There is no visible sign of progress, yet beneath the surface the seed is breaking open, pushing through the dirt, reaching toward the light. If someone were to dig it up too soon, they would say, "Nothing is happening," and throw it away. But if they had waited, they would have seen the seedling emerge. The same is true for your desires. When you persist, even when there is no evidence, even when resistance seems strongest, you are allowing the unseen forces to complete their work. You must develop an unshakable knowing. No matter what appears in front of you, you must refuse to accept anything less than your desired outcome. Reality is fluid, always shifting in response to your inner state. The test is whether you will hold your vision in the face of illusion. When you pass this test, your breakthrough is inevitable. So when things seem hardest, when it feels like everything is against you, remember, this is the final illusion. Hold firm, stay the course. Your miracle is closer than you think. Everything you desire is already yours. The world you see is only a reflection of your past assumptions, but you are not bound by it. Imagination precedes reality, time is an illusion, and faith is the bridge that brings the unseen to form. You must ignore the distractions of the physical world, knowing that it is always catching up to your inner state. Your feelings are the secret. They shape the life you experience, and above all, your persistence is the test. Just before the breakthrough, resistance may appear strongest, but this is only the final illusion. Hold firm, trust in the unseen, walk as if your desire is already fulfilled, and soon the world will align to match it. You are the creator, the cause of all that unfolds. Never doubt the power within you. Your miracle is coming. Do not give up. Thank you.